I'm moving into this barn sitting on 150 acres to finish my current ambulance build and build an entirely new rig from scratch. But it's also the dead of winter, with temperatures dropping well into the negatives, and this building doesn't have any heat. But we can't let that get in the way, because we got a lot of work to do.
Gosh, look at this. A little bit of a tight fit. All right, guys, it is super windy today. Hopefully this mic is helping out with that. This is going to be a barn dominium one day, with roughly 70% of this building being a shop and 30% of it being a home. But as it sits right now, it's only a shop.
The home part is unfinished. It does have running water,
But as it currently sits, you need to haul in your own water and dump it in here.
and when you use the water, you have to put a 5-gallon bucket down there because there's no drainage.
And there's no septic or toilet system because
It's not put in yet.
But all that means is that you just take more walks around the property. I'll admit, that can be a little cold during the winter with the wind at night.
And I'm about an hour away from the city and any place I can get legit supplies. And the toughest part is that it's mid-January and there's a storm coming in with temperatures expected to drop to negative 10 degrees, and there's no heat in this building. So I need to get moved in before that happens.
Okay, here's the game plan. I need to get the inside of the shop completely cleared out so I can get my stuff in. Then I need to get all of my tools and just materials, all sorts of random stuff out of this ambulance box, inventoried, and then put inside. After that, it's time to get the ambulance cleaned up to be able to get it into the shop. Then after that, it's time to start emptying out the ambulance, setting up the workshop, and getting ready to actually start all these projects that we got going on this year.
I have a ton of insulation here. I should probably see about setting it down over here where this insulation's already laid.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. One of the first things I need to do is get in to the back here. Hey, buddy. And I need to cut my Starlink off the top of the roof. I just have had this zip tied here for a long time. Also need to get this off. This is gonna need to get folded down for the time being. That's my only thought. So, yeah. Now let's see if we can get this out of here. So it was about 5 degrees last night. Let's see how she does on the cold start. These 7.3s usually do not like cold starts. They're just grumpy when they get started. We're gonna do another cycle on the glow plugs. All right, let's start this puppy up. We're gonna drive into town real quick and see if I can wash this guy off. This truck has not been washed in, I mean, it's been outside for pretty much a year. It's been full-time on the road for a long time. So before I tear into this thing and start thinking about 4-wheel drive conversions and all that stuff, I want to get as much gunk off of this thing as possible. And it's about 25 degrees right now, so It's gonna be cold. We'll see if those, what do you call them? Self-serve car washes. I don't even know if they'll be open with the freeze that's going on right now. It is really cold right now. I'm not looking forward to getting wet and cleaning this thing. I can barely feel my fingers. I need something for my hands. It's too cold. I have gloves, but I don't really want to get them wet. I just gotta wait a minute, let them warm up. All right, I think I'm ready to go back to it. Okay, that was extremely cold. We're gonna get out of here.
And now that I got a lot of the dirt and debris off the bottom of the truck, it's time to get it into the shop. I know there's snow on the ground right now, but it's still pretty warm out, 25 degrees.
Jeez, just plowing up this.
But there's a storm that's coming in that's going to bring it down to -10, so I need to get this rig inside the shop.
All right, this is the last time that the truck is going to be outside for a long time. She's going in the garage. Man, this truck has worked so well for me, even with just two-wheel drive. It has just really been a phenomenal truck. It's worked really well. It could use some ground clearance. That's one thing that's going to get done to this truck is, you know, going to go ahead and lift it a couple inches, and that's going to help with that departure angle. And then having it four-wheel drive, I mean, I just got up this driveway, and this driveway is steep, and the snow's, This truck is no longer going to have this twin I-beam suspension that it has had. It's gonna get a solid front axle. Ruger! Yeah? Where's the kitty? Then we got the next projects. So the snow is kind of built up and a little deep coming into the garage. So that might be an issue that we have to work with here. We're just kind of slowly chewing through the snow. I just got to make sure I don't spin into the side of either one of these pillars. Oh my gosh, look at this. A little bit of a tight fit. 10 inches of clearance. It's a lot better than I was expecting it to be. Took a little bit, but we got her in here. All right, next time this thing turns on, it's gonna have a front axle. Okay, now I need to go ahead and just take everything out of this truck. I mean, everything. Strip it down, clean it down. Yeah, pretty much move out of the truck because while it's in here, I want it to be in full work mode. The only thing I'm gonna leave in there is my clothes and my bed. I'm thinking I'm gonna do a kitchen and kind of kitchen coffee area over here. If there's any nights that I can't sleep in the ambulance, then I think that I'll just pull out this futon right here and just sleep right there in a sleeping bag. Over here, we already have my office set up. So this is gonna kind of stay the same. My Expedition Ranch spray paint did not come out as well as I hoped, but is what it is. Then I gotta move a lot of this stuff out of the way and just kind of get everything organized. I need to figure out what I need to buy, what type of materials I need to get, what things I have, what things I'm missing. There's a lot to go through in here. Doing big rips like this is something I don't really like. I'm holding a big piece of plywood, running it on the table saw, and it's really hard to get the type of leverage that you want to control that blade. Not something I like doing. I hate ripping large plywood by myself. All right, it all fits. It's definitely a little janky, but I'll stable it up a little bit. And you know, all I need here is a workspace. I didn't need to make something great. I didn't want to spend any money on building this thing. So just throw in some warped 2x4s that have been sitting out in the sun for the last year, and some more plywood that was actually used to pour concrete. A-okay by me. Alrighty, we finally got the workbench pretty much done. There's a little bit more work that I need to do because, you know, it's actually pretty stable for what it is, but this thing is definitely lacking some supports. Check this out. Completely free scrap wood workbench. Like, the fact that I have that much movement in it for a 14 wide foot span, that's really not bad. I think that this is Expedition Ranch approved. So after about a week of being stuck inside the shop with the doors closed because of the storm, we finally got everything pretty well organized. It's not as good as it could be, but it's good enough to go ahead and get started with some of these projects. And let me tell you, it is really nice to have these doors open because there is no windows in this building. So it's been dark in there, artificial light the entire time. And Ruger definitely likes laying out in the sun, don't you, buddy? We got the workbench set up and a lot of my tools organized and gone through. Got my air compressor out, plasma cutter, a lot of my other power tools. Got my welder brought inside. A lot of the miscellaneous parts I have organized into storage bins. During the winter, we're probably gonna do a lot of our cutting over here. So like wood and stuff like that, anything that brings sawdust like this. And the ambulance is inside, ready to get worked on. So even though there's still some setup that I need to do in here, I still need to go through some of my tools. I need to look for blades and all the little consumables that you use and stuff like that. I need to set up my welding station. There's still a decent amount to do, but it's set up enough right now that we can go ahead and get started working on this truck. And guys, remember, we are doing a giveaway on this truck. It's gonna start probably in April, and then by the end of December, on Christmas of 2024, someone is gonna end up driving this truck away. So sign up in the description to be notified of when that actually starts. Participating in this giveaway won't only give you the chance to win this truck, but it also helps support the channel, supports the work that I'm doing with it, as well as 10% of the proceeds of this giveaway is gonna go towards a nonprofit dedicated to protecting our public lands. Kind of the one thing that we need to go overlanding and do van life and all that stuff. So sign up down in the description. I would greatly appreciate it. And I mean, come on, that's a pretty awesome rig. Who wouldn't want that thing? Guys, I'll see you in the next video.